All right, what's going on, all you point three people? Your favorite trio of hosts are back again to close out 2025 strong. Blue, Hero, Spider Brando. We're back again, baby. We're back. We're back. We never left, just so you guys know. We didn't really go anywhere. We've been in Discord. We've been doing some things. Life is happening. Families are changing, evolving, jobs, life, So we had to take a little break, took a little step back, but we are here in full force to finish 2025 strong for y'all. And again, we appreciate each and every one of you that were a part of what we love to do every single year, and that is the year-end award show. So we have a lot going on today. A lot going on. Before we do it, though, Hero, SB, how you guys been feeling, man? What's going on?
I mean, it feels great to be back on a Wednesday on a live stream. We haven't done one of these in like what, 4-ish months or so. Yeah, like Lou said, just so many things happening. And like he said, we have still been talking throughout all of this, all three of us. So it's not like we stopped talking, and it's not like we stopped doing any of this stuff. Just other things took priority for a minute, but it feels good, man. It feels good. We have some stuff in the pipeline for people too. So like, just be aware that point 3 is this. It will be. This is the first thing you guys are seeing from us on the channel, but know that this isn't the first thing we have done. Just a little peek behind the curtain there.
Yeah. We got a lot. We got a lot coming, y'all. I feel like the energy is back. We are in the thick of it. Speaking of thick in beards, Spider Brando, how you been feeling, man?
Pretty swell. Excited to be back, just like you guys are saying, reminisce with all of it. We've always been moving forward, so hype to keep that going without. I was gonna try to say something cool, but you guys topped it all off with everything earlier.
Let's hit him with the coolest thing we could do.
The shadow pose.
That's it. Shadow if you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know,
you know.
If you know, you know.
But if you're in Discord, you would probably know. So I'm happy to have been killing it in there and just chatting with everybody the last couple months. That's what I was trying to lead in. I was trying to lead into something cool to bring that up earlier, but it didn't come out too well.
All right, listen, you got it at the end. And like Lou was saying already, shout out to everybody that has been on Discord since we've started the channel, really, but also the past little bit. People like Year of the Collector. If you don't follow him, great guy, awesome man, person, genuinely someone I think I call a friend too, but just genuinely amazing content, but also someone who's a part of our Discord. Nate as well, Thwip Media, someone who's constantly in our Discord bringing great discussions. If you guys aren't, you are missing genuinely some of the best discussions about MCU, about DCU, just about general fandom stuff, sports, all kinds of stuff. So, if you want to be a part of that, please come in. Point 3, Hunter, what is up, man? What is your thoughts on people bashing and hating Supergirl movie and calling it Guardians of the Galaxy 4? Not unwarranted in certain ways, but don't worry, we will get to DCU chatter in a future video, so definitely be on the lookout for that, because that is coming. Today we're here to celebrate genuinely the best of 2025.
Now, before we really get into it, we got 6 categories. Those of you who participated, again, thank you so much. The window was a little bit shorter this year, but we got a lot of great feedback and great responses. So shout out to all y'all who participated in our year-end survey that we posted up. But gents, let's go back pretty much a year ago today. I think actually here we were talking about this not so long ago. Like, we just started to get like hints on the Superman trailer and stuff. Yeah. And like that vibe and hype was starting to come around. What did you guys, if you guys can remember, what did you think was going to be the biggest thing of 2025 this time last year?
It's definitely, I think it was Superman still.
Yeah.
So we were on that hype train pretty early. That I remember I keep on seeing the memories of like the posters in my camera roll from like a year ago of when we were just when it came out, and I think the 19th is when the trailer came out, so it's kind of crazy to just remember the exact date. I couldn't tell you the date the Fantastic Four trailer came out. I'll tell you that right now. Still a great movie. But
some say it never.
I think we always knew Superman was always going to be one of the best.
You know, I think we knew it was going to be up there. I think we knew, and we'll get to this in a little bit. I think we knew it was going to be genuinely important. However, like you read my mind. I think we were all in the thought that, at least I know I was, Fantastic Four was supposed to be the biggest thing of 2024, because I do remember our reactions to finding out that, hey, a Superman trailer is going to drop. I think we found out that they did the like fan screening on like a Monday, and then they dropped it on a Wednesday. And I remember the conversation we had on Discord. Me and Lou at least hated it. Thought, what are you doing? You need to wait till like the Super Bowl so you can show your goods in front of everybody. You need to wait for Marvel to strike first so you can. No, they said, forget that. I remember hating it, and I remember genuinely coming into this year thinking Fantastic Four is going to rock 2025, and I couldn't have been more wrong.
Hey, but there was someone a part of the Point 3 podcast who was all for it.
Brainiac out here.
I'm just saying, SB, I got to give you kudos where kudos are due, man. You were like, let's do it. What's the big deal? Who cares? Let's get it. I'm hype. And I was like, you guys busted your load way too soon. Like, no.
Yeah.
But hey, a little foreshadowing. Let's not say what happened yet.
It's crazy how much things change in a year, because we're literally a year removed, almost to the date, right, of Superman and the trailer and all the discussions around that. Here we are, about 6 months later, half a year, right, talking about the fallout of it and just how it kind of changed things, which will be in a future video. Be on the lookout for that. Shameless self plug. I promise it leads into something. But here we are, a year away now, talking about the best of 2025, and we'll be talking about what is the most anticipated. But we are literally a year away from Avengers Doomsday. I think it's supposed to come out the 18th, 19th. So again, some way, somehow, it's worked itself out to where we are almost a year away exactly from these big projects.
That's very true. And as we kind of talk and look back now on 2025, Spider-Man, without spoiling anything, were any of the 6 questions that we had like difficult for you to think about as you looked back on the year? Like, were you torn? Don't say what it is, but like, was this year like straightforward for you?
It was in terms of some of them, but I definitely had to think about that show. I'm not gonna lie. So there's a couple shows that I forgot that even came out in 2025. So that was a little tough.
Yeah.
But I did stumble on some of them myself when answering them. So there's a lot of good stuff this year. Super fantastic year, should I say?
A super fantastic year is very, very interesting. But listen, y'all, we're gonna jump into it now. We have 6 categories that we're gonna be talking about. We condensed it down from last year so we could have more conversations around some of the things that we love the most. We are gonna have some questions for the chat, so feel free to answer those as we're kind of walking through this. Listen, y'all, we had a great 2025. So without further ado, let's get into our first category: best hero or villain. Favorite character of 2025. Listen, this was very interesting because as we kind of took all the results, I think the biggest thing that came out of this, Superman was the one that was most frequently mentioned, and I think was a clear center of discussions for favorite character of 2025. We did have some Lex Luthor, definitely had some praise. Obviously, a lot of people were talking about performance-driven standout. We also had some of, not one-offs, but more people. I think there was a higher frequency of the morally gray characters that were submitted for this as well, which I thought was interesting. Like overall as a collection, that might have competed with Superman. And then we did have some, some other picks. Shout out to Frankenstein. We had a Frankenstein drop in there, which is pretty cool. But drum roll, the winner of the category for best hero or villain for 2025, it was Superman. Superman's our winner. So, gentlemen, I'm going to kick this over to you first, Spider Brando. Was Superman your favorite character, or do you think that Superman was just kind of the most important
one? Ooh. I think he was the most important and the most, I guess you could say, famous or like most common of the characters in 2025. But I had Yelena as my favorite character. I loved Thunderbolts. As we go through this list, Thunderbolts put some respect on in 2025, and Yelena was amazing in there. I remember I did a video for one of our socials about her being like the MVP and new face of Marvel. So I thought making that video was super fun because she is a freaking badass character and great seeing her on the screen again. With unlike Superman, she doesn't really have superpowers, so it's cool to see her do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Pick Sidewinder. Damn, swapped on.
Sidewinder got snubbed. I'll be honest here.
So Spider Brando, real quick. For you, when you were looking at this, picking your favorite character, was it performance or was it writing when you were picking the character?
I think more writing, because I mean, it was really hard to pick between Superman and Yelena. Yeah. But I don't know. Thunderbolts. I love Superman. I love Thunderbolts, but I feel like Yelena was just given a little bit more like overall like emotional journey in a way, whereas like Superman's we're gonna get over the next couple movies and stuff, but I feel like they didn't tap into it as much as they did with her.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Hero, before I get to you, chat, I'm going to drop this in here for y'all. Go ahead and answer this question. Very curious, especially with the submissions that we had. Some of y'all are in the chat. Is moral grayness more interesting than traditional heroism? Now, knowing that Superman obviously did take this category, Hero Scroll, if Superman didn't win this, who should have won?
I think if we're not going to talk from a hero perspective and we're going to talk closer to the villain, I think Lex Luthor is probably the next runner up for things that I think got mentioned more often than not. Character wise, it's so hard. It's so hard just because how much he genuinely dominated it. It's genuinely a hard time to not see this year be dominated without Superman. So I don't know how there's a way where he doesn't win. Like Yer says, how the resurgence that he has currently between, honestly, since James Gunn kind of announced and started going in more with Superman, and then this year, comics alone, how many Superman stories have come out this past year? It's insane. I don't think I've ever seen a character get this much more love in the past year than I've seen in Superman.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And we'll dive into Superman a little bit more kind of throughout this. I don't think this is the last year of Superman. But Hero, just curious. I know SP, you had Yelena as your character that you picked. Who did you pick as your favorite character for 2025?
Daredevil specifically. We're going to get into very specifics. Marvel Rivals Daredevil. One incredibly fun character to play. For those that don't play Marvel Rivals, incredibly fun character. I addicted to this character. Fast as Lord in my in my gameplay, and I had so much fun doing it. But also just story, looks wise, coolness factor. I love everything about the character. How they were able to take his story and make it one that is unique, very unique take on the character, yet still honor Daredevil as a character. And to your question, it points how this morally gray version of Daredevil is, where he is closer to a line that, people are, so much so the characters in the game are very shocked that he's doing certain things in storyline. So genuinely one of my favorite characters, I think, ever that I've been able to see.
I don't disagree. I think those are all really good choices. But I think overall, Superman probably fits that mold of the character that probably shaped and defined 2025 from a superhero conversation perspective. Sweet. Okay. All right. Well, category 2, we have best moment / scene. This one I think is probably the one that took me the longest to really think about. Like, there are a lot of really moments from this year. I think every year probably has, at least a handful of bangers, but Thunderbolts was definitely the one that dominated this entire category. Bucky's motorcycle run, the Yelena scenes, Red Guardian saving the child, Sentry and his fight against the Thunderbolts. There's a lot of Thunderbolts conversations in this, which I think will kind of foreshadow something down the road here. But we did have some Superman moments. Those definitely were cited. A lot of symbolic weight. The Ultraman fight, the rescue on the bridge. We had people just talking about the character himself and just being on screen. And it definitely seemed like those two really battled for, the larger scale spectacles. But you guys, what really came down to it in the end, it was the emotion, the human emotion that was driving the superhero genre in 2025. Yelena and her basic vulnerability and her arc in Thunderbolts takes the cake for this category for best moment, best scene. So with that, Spider Brando, we know we got to get your reaction first to Yelena taking a dub here in this category. How'd you feel about that?
You are muted.
He's so excited.
So excited.
Sorry.
The void got him.
The void muted me.
Yeah.
I had this as my best moment / scene. So it hit hard in theaters. I'll tell you that. And when you rewatch it a couple times since it's been out, it hits even harder, more and more and more. Because not often do you see that type of like vulnerability in superhero projects, and just kind of how they're all ragtag, lonesome hero, anti-heroes coming together and getting to experience like something like that with her father. It's beautiful. Just knowing their relationship from Black Widow and character development between them two throughout the movie. It was awesome. It was very hard to pick between like an emotional moment versus some crazy horror moments that happened in 2025. But I think this one takes the cake for me.
I like it. Hero, when you look back at 2025, do you remember more of the action scenes that happened in 2025 or more of the emotional scenes that happened in 2025?
For me, typically I am someone who's more emotion story driven, but I think the past few years have given us a huge lack of action moments, things that we can just remember for being so insanely cool, which I think is what is a large part of what we like about comic books and comic book movies, right? And I think for me, it's that's what took the cake this year between Thunderbolts, between certain things in Fantastic Four, between Superman. Seeing some of these scenes that I bless my eyeballs in movie theaters, it was just so good. It was so good to see. Between seeing Sentry genuinely be one of the coolest characters in the entirety of the MCU, between seeing Superman genuinely like use his power set in such a fun and creative way, Green Lantern doing cool things, Hot Girl, Mr. Terrific. Those moments stuck with me more this year.
Yeah. All right. Before I get into the last question for the hosts for this, question for all y'all in the chat. Are we officially in an era where emotional payoff matters more than spectacle? I think this one is very relevant for a lot of conversations that are happening right now. Cough, cough, MCU. But yeah, let us know what you think there. But this is a question for both of you guys, and I'm very curious to your answer to this. Was there any scene that changed how you felt about a character this year? Based on what you knew before, what you read, what you watched, what you just liked about a character previously?
Hello.
What's up? That's a good question.
I think I'll give one of the more obvious ones. I think for a lot of people, Mr. Terrific, I think, won a lot of people over, myself included. Definitely just being able to be himself and show how cool he is. As someone who knew very little to nothing about Mr. Terrific, getting to see him in Superman, I think was really cool. So definitely made him feel like a top level character.
Yeah, I think that's mine. That's my choice.
If I can, for a comic one, I will also say, because I did see somebody mention it for best villain wise, and I do got to give it to them for the revitalization of the character. I feel like Absolute Bane is amazing. It's genuinely one of the coolest characters in the entirety of that run. In a run full of awesome characters already, Bane feels like the boogeyman. You do not want to see that Bane. That's the last person on planet Earth you want to fight. And guys, the final battle between Batman, Absolute Bane. If you don't read Absolute Batman, you genuinely, and so seriously, you are missing out so much. So much. It's so good.
There's the SB flyby, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Whoosh.
There it is.
I was gonna say, I think
Yes.
Mark Grayson.
I love it.
Made me Mark Grayson Invincible season 3. Made me change a little bit.
Where's Morecambe?
I was gonna say, can we piss some people off in the
chat? Dude, by the way, that was one of my favorite Discord conversations, maybe of all time, of just like the Invincible battle was awesome. It was awesome. I think about that often.
You don't like when I was going through 2025 shows, it feels like Invincible season 3 was so long ago, but it's crazy to think about.
All right, Chad, are you team Mark or team Cecil?
Talk about morally gray stuff.
That's gonna be really fun look ahead for 2026. But I did want to add one piece too, just kind of scenes that changed vibes for characters, and this is more subtle to where I didn't have like a full 180 flip, but I think for a lot of people there were moments in Fantastic Four that elevated a lot of characters that people like dogged on from previous iterations in the movies, mainly with Sue, Johnny, Galactus, and Silver Surfer. Like they all got upgrades and like I was about to say buffed. Oops. They all took a step forward. It's like those scenes for me, I think positively flipped a switch for like live action versions of them for me. And kind of elevated them closer to like the expectations I had from the books. But let's see, we got anything in here? Do I miss anything in the chat?
We got Automodded for his thoughts on Cecil.
I will say I do want to point to the question you asked chat about emotional payoff. I think this next year is going to be genuinely big in terms of what this upcoming year, in terms of all these payoffs. I think they will matter a lot more than the spectacle.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be wrapping up and starting some of these stories again.
Yeah, 2026 for me definitely feels like for all the people that are kind of have their hands in the bucket, we're going to have a lot of emotional payoff that's going to drive and carry a lot of these movies. I don't think there's going to be as much spectacle as we may be hoping for. But we're moving on to the next. Third category, best movie, best show. This one was a little more cut and dry, but I think we're starting to see a trend of two Goliaths starting to separate themselves from the pack. Thunderbolts, definitely a strong presence in this. However, it was secondary. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Daredevil Born Again. Y'all, we got some TV show animation shout outs here. Those got a little love. But Superman appeared more than any other title in this category. So despite people being high and low on it, Superman's winner in this category. Best movie or show goes to Superman. Spider-Man, are you surprised about this?
No, absolutely not. Because it was definitely the best movie of superhero movie of 2025, and it was just that it was impactful, monumental. Was reading your private chat thing, so I got a little distracted there. But 2025 had a lot of great stuff, but nothing really stood out as much as Superman did. I went with the Spider-Man bias on this one and did Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man because that movie that show was phenomenal. And I just didn't, I don't know, I really got hooked on it from the get-go. But Superman being the best movie doesn't surprise me.
Did it deserve the win in your mind?
I think so.
Okay. Hero, from this standpoint with Superman, do you think that people, since it did really take the majority, are we judging the quality, the impact, or kind of the cultural weight of the movie when it comes to it being the best?
I think we're talking about more cultural weight. Maybe not exactly the what's the word I'm looking for? Storytelling prowess in comparison to other ones. Because I do think if we're going to put it up against something like Sinners will probably win in terms of a filmmaking standpoint in many different ways. But I think at least for our audience and what they are most interested in, Superman, I think, is going to be the one that they talk about because, again, like we were talking about, the cultural impact, the resurgence of that character, comic book movie wise, superhero wise, I don't think has been seen in a very long time. I don't think we've seen that kind of popularity and love rise for a character that for the longest time would be considered kind of dead in a way.
Yeah.
Because again, it did seem like it was a celebration of this character coming back to life. But if you're a moviegoer, film, nerd, and just someone who just loves movies in general, yeah, Sinners is probably going to be your top of the year.
All right, I'm going to flip this back to you, SB. If Thunderbolts didn't exist, would Superman feel stronger or weaker?
Muted.
For me, it was tough to pick between Thunderbolts and Superman. And I would say Superman would be stronger if Thunderbolts didn't exist because it had less of such a high rated movie as well to be compared to.
Okay. Hero, before you answer that one, I want to throw the question out to the chat. For Superman specifically, do y'all think this movie would have worked if it came out 5 years ago, or does it only work because of coming out today? All right, Hero, back to you. If Thunderbolts didn't exist, would Superman feel stronger or weaker?
think it might feel stronger because I do think it had a lot of the action moments, and emotional wise, I think has a little bit of an edge on Superman. I think it would feel stronger.
Yeah. All right. Now, this next one, while you guys are answering this question, this is an interesting one. Biggest surprise. Now, again, for the biggest surprise, this could be, and I broke this out a little bit because I thought it was very interesting what people were putting. They were in like one category, but we're going to do biggest surprise and then biggest disappointment. But for biggest surprise, you guys had mentioned it was between Superman and Fantastic Four. At any point, did you think that there was a show or movie that would have jumped over either of those two?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Okay.
But I think that was to be expected, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Boy.
Now, this one, I'm just going to say the winner of this one as we go through the biggest surprise. The winner of this category for people, and again, I pulled this out because there was such good feedback on this one. We had the winner as Thunderbolts. So Thunderbolts wins this character. I think for a lot of people, it flipped the expectation. I think going into the year, myself, I can raise my hand and say this. We had two projects that we thought were going to be like C to D level. They weren't going to do anything. They weren't going to be good. They were just going to be flops on their faces. And it was Cap, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. It just did not feel good. And I keep going back to the whole CinemaCon thing where it's like, oh, you'll find out what it means later. And we're like, okay.
Wait, make sure you say it first because we always have to make sure this is so positively clear to chat. The world famous CinemaCon.
World famous CinemaCon. World famous CinemaCon. Definitely don't miss that one. But yeah, Thunderbolts, that one took the cake. When did you guys think, or when did you realize that Thunderbolts was better than expectation?
Immediately once I guess I would just say immediately after I walked out of the movie. Are you saying like a specific moment in the movie?
No, just when did you feel it? Like when did it click for you and you had the thought of like, damn, this is way better than I thought it was going to be?
As soon as the credits hit. Not even before I walked out. We were pretty low on that movie.
Nah, we do.
I was pretty low on that movie.
Like this insert NBA
extremely
like, small meme right now.
Well, I guess maybe I think when trailer one or not when one of the first trailers came out.
The Super Bowl?
I started flipping.
That was the first trailer.
I think that's the Super Bowl trailer. That one kind of flipped the switch.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. Yeah, I would still say the credits of the movie.
Fair. No, fair. I definitely know the moment that it shifted for me. I felt it in my bones, and I know I texted you guys on Discord immediately. Super Bowl trailer. When I saw people getting shadowed into oblivion, and we knew for a fact the Void was coming, and I saw that, that's when I knew, oh, they're going in with the Void. They're not cheapening out, which I really felt and thought they were going to, because again, Thunderbolts had horrible marketing leading up to this movie. Yeah, that was the moment it shifted for me, and I felt like it was going to be good. Watching the movie though just had the confirmation for me. Yeah, Lou, I remember me and you in our theater just freaking out.
Yeah. The switch for me definitely was trailer. That trailer that came on. I think just seeing the quality of the trailer. And then the Void, I mean, we did tons of Sentry work before that. I mean, I had a lot of Sentry work before that to like feel really good. I remember SB, you posted the one pick of like when he's in the sky and you just see the eyes and stuff, and there's just that shadow, and it's just him
so
all
good.
the way.
It's so
good.
Yeah, that definitely raised the bar. Definitely raised the bar. But question for you guys on this one before we get into biggest disappointment. Do you think just this movie in general, like, do you think it was good, or was it good compared to the rest of the MCU this year? If it would have slotted anywhere else, do you think it would have been any better? Do you think it would have been any worse? Was it just, is this a great example of sins of the MCU and box office didn't hit a ceiling? Maybe the movie would have felt better if it came out 5 years ago.
I truly believe if this movie came out 2 to 3 years ago, it would do better. Even better box office wise. I think this is one of those that it got bogged down because of everything happening with the MCU. And a lot of people, I think, kind of jumped off, which, again, understandable, and a conversation for another day. I think 2 to 3 years ago, this would be one of those that, like Morgan was saying, it would probably be top 5 for a lot more people. I think it's definitely high up there for me personally, and I think a lot more people would talk about it that way if it came out sooner. Because like you're saying, from the start, like SB said, from the start, you do see that this movie is going to be different. It has that feel and vibe, and it never lets that up. It never gives that up.
I agree. SB?
I think if it came out earlier, it definitely would have done better in the box office. But like, if it had, like, I was just thinking of if it swapped with like Eternals, I think it would make Eternals money. I think it would make Eternals money. If it swaps with Shang-Chi or any of like Phase 4 movie besides Black Widow, 'cause you need Black Widow for this.
COVID time.
I think it makes at least of what that movie made, besides No Way Home too.
Yeah,
they ain't topping No Way Home, but I think it would make a lot of money if you swap it with Love and Thunder as like the summer blockbuster. I think it makes at least 500, 600, 700, like Love and Thunder did.
If that came out in that summer that ruined the MCU, I think that could have been the saving grace.
Yeah,
especially on the heels of Multiverse of Madness, I think people would have been all for it. Granted, post-credit scene would have not existed, but with that in mind, biggest disappointment is going to be our next category. If I could pull it up on the screen, that'd be great. And there it is. This was very interesting. There were a lot of responses that really pointed disappointment at a brand level, not necessarily at the individual films themselves. Y'all expressed some frustration when it came to Daredevil, Doom's post-credit scene in Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four itself, that had some criticism. That was, and the biggest one was the hype was not met. The runtime was actually called out, and then again, post-credit scene frustrations. And then, of course, Captain America Brave New World, that I think was cited most frequently as the biggest disappointment, especially had some writing call-outs. So this was an executive decision, y'all. I think the biggest disappointment does actually fall on the MCU overall, with Captain America Brave New World and Fantastic Four as the primary call-outs for the disappointment in the MCU. So with that initial reaction, how do you feel about that, Hero?
I mean, I think it's deserved, to be quite honest with you. They had such a mediocre year carried by certain projects. But again, kind of like with what the trend that we're seeing with this upcoming year, which we'll talk about, it feels like the backing behind the studio just wasn't there. You know, for every big media push like you had, for example, like for Fantastic Four, in comparison, not Daredevil, Brave New World felt like it had very, very little in comparison. I know we had a bunch of spots. I know we did, but they also really showed their biggest surprise with Red Hulk. And the marketing ended up being around that, which created a certain expectation. And then that didn't really pan out to be the way that it was supposed to be. And of course, that hurt people. Then, while they did market that, at least you had pretty good things like Ironheart just have nothing. Just nothing in terms of marketing. And that, again, a show that does have issues, yes, but a show that's actually really good and worth the time. Eyes of Wakanda, worth your time. It's crazy to see just how much they went in with certain things and then pulled back with others, and then the things that they should go all in on just get no love. You would think that Thunderbolts would have something else in front of it, attached to it big time, and no, nothing. And again, even Fantastic Four, you think they would try to make the biggest and best Fantastic Four movie they could, and sure, maybe it is the biggest, but best, yes, because the other ones are garbage. But let's be honest, it's a glorified Phase 1 movie.
Okay. Quick pause for this one. Chat question. Would these movies be better if MCU expectations were lower? Let us know your thoughts. Spider Brando, question for you. Which MCU project broke your trust the most this year?
Ooh. I'm gonna have to say Fantastic Four.
Okay. Spill.
I remember your reaction on Discord.
It's a great movie, but like to lead into Doomsday and like what we're gonna get, it didn't really do much at all besides that post-credit scene.
One of the worst post-credit scenes of all time.
Yeah, so I'm like you would think, especially after the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, going into Fantastic Four, I'm like, what is Marvel doing?
So with that's a perfect question, because at this point, for movies in general, even including Superman in this, do you guys think, especially this year, that post-credit scenes are hurting more than they're helping?
Yes. 100%. Because if you really think about it, all three that came out this year, I think left the audience with more questions than they did answers. And each time I think people were more pissed, because Captain America, you have the leader being like, they're coming, they know about us. And Sam's like, what are you talking about, you freak? And then that's it. Then Thunderbolts comes in and they're like, Fantastic Four. You're like, ooh, let me go watch Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four happens and literally never even gets addressed. Doesn't happen. Doom, you see his shoulder and that's it. Movie's done.
But it was RDJ dressed up.
Who cares?
I have one thing to say though. With all the MCU flaws and people complaining about them not connecting, on the flip side, everybody hated both Superman post-credit scenes. That obviously, like, we knew they weren't going to do anything, but people still hated it. So I was like, where do people win here?
I'm sorry. Here's the thing, though. The other one, James Gunn literally told you, do not expect that to be set up through that. MCU, we know it is standard fare that it is going to be set up, especially so close to Doomsday that has no setup, by the way. We knew, and they still went that route, and they still gave you not even a crumb. They didn't even give you a crumb of information, because let's be honest, those post credits, told us nothing that we didn't already know. We knew Doom was coming because guess what? Avengers is called Doomsday. We know the Fantastic Four was going to interact with the main universe because guess what? They were announced for Avengers Doomsday. And we know that other people are going to know about the main 616 universe. You know why? Because Avengers Doomsday is coming.
Can I add an honorable mention to the biggest disappointment of the year real quick?
Absolutely.
The stupid Doomsday chair cast reveal. That was disappointing. I can't believe people were watching that shit for like 12 hours.
This is where I agree with Morgan. I don't need to know who's cast. I don't need to know the chairs when you're going to do something like that. However, quick lightning round. Before we get into our 2026 and kind of close up 2025, gents, let's react to this one because I think this is very relevant for right now in the look ahead and very relevant for the look back. Morgan said, why do we need to know everything about movies before movies come out? Reverse Uno, SB. Thoughts?
It's got a point because it ruins expectations. Like, just think of how crazy we're going in Discord just over these Doomsday trailer leaks and that 50-second garbage dog water looks like it's on a broken iPad from 2003 Spider-Man footage. And like, should we be knowing some of this stuff? No. Or like all the beat report, our best friend RPK, we follow him and go by a lot of stuff that what he says around the rumor mill. Kind of sucks to be spoiled with some of this stuff. If you really think about it, the Superman 25 plot got leaked like last year, and everybody shit on it, saying like how bad it sounded. Probably more so one side of the DC fan base than the other, but there's a lot of people that ended up liking Superman that saw that leak and thought it was going to be bad and ended up loving the movie. So it sucks knowing some of this stuff, but in Marvel's case, when they're not giving you so many updates or having any idea of what the hell's going on, it's the only thing we could do is piece together things that we hear to make theories and do the theories for them. That makes sense.
True, and fair. But I ask you this then, Hero, to this point, because I think we can throw everything into a bucket. Like for you, what is everything? And if you had to source it out and say what we don't need to know and what we do need to know, and how that affects the perception of the show, movie, or whatever, you know, what are things that fans should know, and is it something we're getting now?
I think when it comes to the things we should know, it should be very simple. You should have your plot going into it, not the full plot details, just plot going into it, what the general thing is going to be about, and how that is set up, especially when we're talking about things like the MCU, the DCU. Those are the main things that I feel like, because again, it's the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is supposed to all connect, and we need to know how it's going to connect. And right now, we don't know any of that. And we have people constantly telling us. And by people, I do mean more so the people in charge, management. We have Kevin Feige, we have the Russo saying, hey, this is going to be the biggest and crazy thing. Okay, give us some information, something at least. No, here's a blurry picture. That's what you get. By the way, go watch Avatar 4 times. And like, that kind of sucks. Now, at the same time, I do agree with Markham. I do agree. You don't need to know everything. You don't. But at the same time, this is where I will challenge that, is that we live in an age of information. Whether you like it or not, you will get that information. Because before I saw the Doomsday leak, before we talked about it on Discord, I had genuinely like 6 videos on TikTok pop back to back about it. You're going to get it one way or another. And if you're going to be a part of it, then you're going to know. As a fandom, and we've talked about this at length, we do have a power in our voice. and knowing will allow you to voice that better than not.
Yeah. No, I mean, the hard part, and again, I think you guys nailed it, of like, because the studios want you to go do this. It's kind of like what we have right now, to where people aren't showing up because they don't know what to be invested in. Like, what am I going to spend my time on?
100%.
Why should I watch Daredevil Born Again if Punisher's not going to be in it? That's a big reason why I want to watch season 2, is because I think Punisher's to be in it. But if Punisher's not in it, then I'm probably going to dock the show like crazy. I'd want to know if he's in it or not. Let me recalibrate my mindset going into it. Same thing with Spider-Man, for example. Is Hulk going to be in it or not? Tell me Hulk's going to be in it, because then I think we can do the things like we do and really start crafting our expectations, and like just running wild with the fan stuff that makes it very interesting to kind of build up and then see how they execute. But I think there's a baseline. My number one biggest gripe, though, and what I'll put in the everything category, is how the costumes and suits look. There's no reason why we should see first looks during the movie. And I don't think right now that Disney even, well, I take that back. The DCU did a pretty good job with Superman, the suit. Like, love it or hate it, you at least knew what it was going to look like. And then it looked like that in the film. Same thing with Supergirl, Justice Gang, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think that goes a long way to help take away the distractions that a lot of people have during the movie. If you can get some of those things out of the way, like a Wolverine in the cowl for the first time, understood, but like you saw the rest of the suit and you had an idea. The cowl is just kind of like an icing on the cake from that perspective.
And that's the thing, is how much of that information do they drip to you? Because again, like I said, you don't have to know everything, but you have to know enough to, like you said, know if you're invested. And not just that, I think the other thing we do genuinely have to remember, it is not the same anymore to go to a movie as cheap as it was years ago. Like, genuinely, you are paying a lot more money to go watch something. Not just money, the time you have. And as someone whose life situation has changed drastically over the past 5 months, time is such a valuable thing. It really is. And I know for me, if it's not as planned out ahead of time and knowing what I can do with it, it's not worth the time. It's really not. I can wait. I can wait. So knowing that that's other people's situation too, is that they genuinely have to decide, am I going to go spend the money to go see this? So that way I can go into something and genuinely love it, genuinely enjoy what I saw. Or am I going to go spend, based to your point, $80 and this movie sucks? That's not
on an icy.
It's not going to be fun to spend that money on something that you're not going to enjoy. And let's be honest, whether it's a movie, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a whatever, we look at these things ahead of time so that we know. We look at game reviews, we look at food reviews, we look at menus before, so we can be like, I want to go there because I want to eat that. I do want to eat that, actually. I think movies, MCU, DCU, whatever universe you want to put it in, fall into that now.
Yeah.
Especially, that's a big reason why I'm not seeing Avatar, just for the stupid Doomsday trailers. Like, I don't really care about Avatar, so I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus in a couple months. Stranger 100%. Things Volume 1, Season 5, whenever that came out. I still haven't watched it, and I'll probably just watch it on Christmas or New Year's when it's all out. And I haven't seen a single spoiler on my timeline, so I'm lucky. Pretty lucky with that, I guess. But yeah, people are just a little bit more patient with stuff nowadays.
And there's so much vying for your time.
And that's the thing. It's competition for your time. And we're about to talk about 2026, but there are a lot of people, even as like, but we
even
just saw it.
Are saying that. I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but there's what was it that Apple? They said there's some company. I think it was head of Spotify or something, has said that they're like even just competing with like TikTok and YouTube just for people's time because of doom scrolling and everything. Like, they can't even get people to listen to music.
Listen, we just lost Underdog in our state because of competition. So,
shit.
Yeah, I just got the notification today. But let's talk about 2026. Let's talk about 2026 because I think that's a good way to kind of segue into the most anticipated superhero project of the next year. And just based on what you guys put in, again, the things that I'm going to say, just think about what we just talked about in terms of vying for your time in competition, right? So, you guys definitely have an interest in DC's future. Supergirl, Lanterns, that was mentioned. We do have some animated pieces, X-Men 97. We have some prestige projects for Christopher Nolan's Odyssey to add to the hype, which that's going to steal tons from a lot of the superhero genre. Spider-Man Brand New Day, which came in at number 2. And at number 1, the most frequently mentioned upcoming project by what is a wide margin. Avengers Doomsday is the most anticipated superhero project of 2026.
It's definitely the biggest.
It is the biggest. It is the biggest. But I gotta ask, first question, Hero, I'm gonna throw this one over to you, my man.
All right.
If I can pull it up, that'd be great. Do you think that Avengers Doomsday being number 1, is it excitement for the project, or is it desperation from people to get a win?
There's a excitement about it. People are excited. I will be honest and say that. I do think there's enough honest-hearted people that are like, holy crap, an Avengers movie's coming out. I haven't seen an MCU movie since 2019, since, the last Avengers. I really only like the Avengers movies. There's people like that. So I do think there's a genuine excitement on that part. I also think, like Pace is kind of saying, there's a subset of us that are wondering what this is gonna do. Yeah. What is this gonna do? Morecambe, it's a conversation for another day. I don't think desperation is a harsh word for this movie. I think this is reeked in desperation. Robert Downey Jr. is literally the poster child for this, and that is a desperate move for a good reason. It's paying off for them. It's paying off for them well, but it's a desperate move.
I also think, to that point, people are afraid if Doomsday fails, the MCU is doomed, and there won't be an MCU. And
that's what I was going to say too. Yep.
Sorry.
No. I was going to say people are wondering what the fate of the MCU is like, and they're genuinely like, if this fails, if the MCU fails, if Avengers fails, then yes, it's done. It's dead.
Imagine Doomsday doesn't break $1 billion. That's insane.
Does Spider-Man?
Probably not.
Well, I'd say yes. I don't see why it doesn't.
I think Spider-Man
after our Superman predictions, I don't want to.
No, man. The only reason why I say that is Spider-Man's global. Spider-Man is global. The international box office will carry Spider-Man. Domestic is going to be whatever, because apparently no one else exists in the world besides the domestic box office, and it's like sub 50%, but okay. I think Spider-Man has a shot. The real thing is going to be, and I love that we say this all the time, is Doomsday going to have legs? Opening weekend's going to be massive. I wouldn't be shocked if it breaks records for opening weekend. But if it's cheeks, and that fall off is like Fantastic Four level of just no one's going to see the movie, that's where we put like $1 billion in jeopardy. If it's a bad movie.
I will also say a lot of eyes are going to be on RDJ's Doom. And if he looks corny, I don't think people will like it. Because going back to Morecambe's question, you don't have to know everything. You do have to know how Dr. Doom's going to look to determine if you're going to like this movie or not. For a lot of people, a lot of comic book fans. Nate, not throwing you under the bus, but Nate, perfect example. If Doom looks like cheeks, Nate's out. Nate's done. I'm just saying.
But this is such a great example. Like, people are anticipating this, but we've gotten stuff like this. to Morecambe's point, we know what the back of Doom looks like.
He's in a hood. What if he comes out without a mask and he looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Baby. Just give me the 94 Doom. That's all we need.
Dude, 94 Doom that's worth a watch. If you haven't watched it, I think it's worth a watch. It's questionable.
I'm telling you.
It's questionable. Reed and Sue is very questionable.
Yes. That part we don't talk about.
Like, bro,
that part.
She's catching the bus and you're like, let me drive to college. I got to graduating next year. Like, what are you doing? Anyways,
that part's definitely weird. The rest of it good.
We're going to talk about some other projects. Promise. But since we're on the topic of Doomsday, I just want to know what you guys think. At this point in time, let's mark it, because a year from now, this is going to be relevant. So we're going to say, clip this. Hero, I'm going to throw this to you first. What do you need Doomsday? What do you need Doomsday to be for it to work?
I ask myself this every day. I really do, because I'm solo on and I'm not trying to be. I really am not trying to be negative. I just, to this day, I still don't know how to answer that. I'll give you the things that I need. I need for your current heroes to step up, or at least for them to step them up storyline wise, better said, so that they feel like the new aces of the MCU. I need them to step up and take the place of Tony Stark, take the place of Iron Man, take the place of Cap. So that way, when we watch Marvel, we're okay and not constantly asking for the same old things like certain fans are. I need Doom to feel cold. I really do. He needs to feel cold, calculated. I do not need Tony Stark charisma in Doom. I don't need that. I don't want that. Big old X on that. Those are my two top things for now.
Okay. Chat, throw some thoughts in there, but SB, same question to you.
It's hard not to pick. Hard not to pick.
Double up, it's fine.
But I do have another one.
Okay.
Just make it make sense. That's all I'm asking. It's just make it make sense of how RDJ is doing, and not like a way like that it's a Stark variant or anything like that. That's all I want, is to just make it make sense. Why does this guy look like Doom? But the caveat is it's gonna have to be freaking related somehow, because why the hell does RDJ look like Doom or Tony Stark? So they just gotta explain that somehow, like in a non-messy way. That's not just like, oh, he's a variant or he was adopted. I would hate that. I would really hate if it's just some stupid adoption stuff in like a different timeline.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna double up on the rest of what Hero said also.
I love it. I love it. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this feels like a really, really tall task when I think about it. And to hear, like you're saying that, like for me, when I look at this, knowing it's the Russos and RDJ and yada yada, and they're bringing the legacy and cool. By the end of this movie, I need to feel as hopeless as I did when Infinity War ended, after everyone was turning to dust and there was no sound except for the wind blowing. Like, I need that. If I can leave the theater feeling that way, at a minimum, feeling that way, you don't have to be better than Infinity War, but if I can just get a similar feeling, that's a massive dub, because all the junk that we haven't or have gotten over the course of the last 5 years. Because I didn't feel that way in Endgame. I mean, don't get me wrong, I sobbed for like the first 4 times I saw it when Tony died, but I gotta walk out of this and be like, dang, I gotta see what's next. Like, how do you, what's gonna happen? Like, that's what I want. And if I don't get that, then that's probably a fail for me.
All right, my one auxiliary question to your question. Let's say this movie's 3 hours. If 2 hours and 45 minutes of this movie is complete and utter garbage, but the last 15 minutes gives you that feeling, is that a success?
Yeah. Because nothing's done that since. And as long as they can give us the bones for Secret Wars, which is the real treasure in my mind, then it'll be worth it. I could sit there. I mean, I'm probably gonna have a great time sitting in a Marvel movie for 3 hours. Like I'll sit in a Marvel movie for 5 hours. Even if you no, I won't go that far. I was gonna bring up Quantumania, but that's if you were to like take Secret Invasion and Quantumania and like string them back to back and be like, we'll pay you to sit here, I would do it. Like it's really hard for me to hate and not watch Marvel. So like if this fails, like, I don't know. But yeah, 15 minutes of just like, oh my gosh, there's 15 more minutes than we got in which we can write the ship for Secret Wars and let's go.
Everybody in chat, I promise you this. I can't promise you many things, but I can promise you this. If Doomsday sucks, I'm looking at you right now. Spider Brando will take every single pop in his collection and smash him in the floor. Live on camera. I promise you. If Doomsday, I'm looking at you all. If Doomsday doesn't do this,
I didn't sign
he will. He will. Don't you worry.
Hey, he's not afraid.
He's not afraid. He is not afraid. He will do it. Clip it.
Alternating Sonic pops and Spidey pops.
Yes.
Anything but my symbiote and my signed one.
Especially those two. He will dance on the ashes of those two.
It's not Shimiku.
Yeah. He doesn't want it because Haley's pregnant now.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be that mad. Out of all the signatures, the two signatures I have,
you'd be okay with that.
Down the train now. After this dude's just being weird.
If this is how Doomsday ended, where Mephisto and Feige are sitting in like a pizzeria or like an Italian restaurant, I'd love it. Like, I knew it.
Mephisto and that Kevin robot from She-Hulk.
It's all of them. He's like, oh
yeah. So this is how it ended.
Doom is Stark variant. I'll smash my Funko. Clip it.
You have Funkos? Wait, let's confirm.
He does. He only has Funkos for me, and I know that for a fact.
Okay.
Clip it.
Every Funko he has, I've sent him.
Basically, I gotta know what needs to be 2 parts. Secret Wars. I'd be down for Secret Wars. Okay.
I do want to add this one caveat. We've been dunking on it for a bit, but genuinely, guys, if this is your first time watching us, we don't want this movie to be bad. We actually want this movie to be successful. We genuinely do. And I want to make that so clear to everybody because sometimes I think we can get like in our feelings about what we want out of the MCU currently. And it's not there, but we are fans of this ultimately, and we do want this to be good. We want this. We do want to come out of this and be like, "Holy crap, Doomsday was really good." I would be so happy, and genuinely, you guys know this. I will be so happy to eat every single one of my words coming out of Doomsday. If I can come out of that film and love it, I'll love it. I
bet that Mahomes Funko has his ACL.
Just missing a leg.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. A couple lightning round questions for you guys. And this first one, I'm actually very curious as everyone's thoughts. If I could get the timer off, that'd be great, but I can't. Do shows and animation get unfairly overlooked in these conversations, particularly pertaining to anticipated Project of 26? I think there are 2 that stick out most. Well, 3. Just based on what you guys were saying.
Oh, yeah, I would say yes. I mean, just think of all the yapping we've done, and we barely talked about it. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Invincible. Those are great shows.
And X-Men 97.
Well, that wasn't this year.
No, for next year.
Anticipation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I would definitely say so because your friend. Well, all 3 of those shows are coming out next year, so yeah, we're barely talking about them.
Is that going to sway your perception of any live action? Because for me, it does.
Yes.
I feel like definitely going to be comparing Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man to Brand New Day a lot.
Good.
2 Spidey projects in the same year.
And that's fair. All I'll say is good luck to the mutants. Good luck to live action mutants.
Yeah, they got a lot to top.
I don't. Yeah, you can carry over everything from Thunderbolts, and it's not going to come close. It's not even going to come close. And we're getting Apocalypse, who's just doing more MCU things before MCU can ever touch it. Like it just, I don't know. I agree though. And I think the thing that hurts probably most, I think people will look at animation, especially with like anime this year, anime movies. I know Discord, we were talking about Demon Slayer. You guys were talking about Chainsaw Man. Like there's tons of great stuff that was out. Oh, nice. Did you?
So good.
So, a separate video. We'll talk about it because I think greatness needs to be shared here on the Point 3 podcast. But I think the things that are going to hurt most are going to be the live action TV shows, mainly Lanterns and Daredevil season 2. Sorry, Hero.
Oh, fair.
Just, no
There's
comment.
Vision Quest too. I don't think.
Oh,
Who's that?
I'll do you one better. Wonder Man.
By the way, next month.
Next month.
Yeah.
Are we anticipated for the next show that's coming out? No.
No.
Okay. Last question that I have for you guys. And then I swear I'll stop. Which 2026 superhero project feels the safest and which one feels the riskiest? I will give you two.
Man, that's a good question.
The safest one for me, I think, is Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is the safest. I think Spider-Man will come out to be the highest rated and gross the most from a superhero perspective. Odyssey, I think, is going to be movie of the year. But superhero wise, Brand New Day. Doesn't matter. I mean, we saw threads and people were like, whoa. And I think the thing after that is going to be the riskiest. Sorry, y'all. The thing that'll be the risk. SB, no, you should feel I'm supporting you in this because I said this is going to be the safest. But at the same time,
I know. I was just laughing at it.
Oh, I'm tearing you down now. I'm tearing you down now because the riskiest is Supergirl.
I was going to say that as well.
Okay.
To be honest,
we're square.
I was thinking, like safest of like comic adaptation wise, I feel like it's Supergirl, but like overall box office and like success, definitely not safe for just the general public and audience. You know, it's got a lot going against it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that's fair. But like, could it be the most accurate to adapt like a comic adaptation based on that trailer? It was pretty accurate to the Woman in Tomorrow comic. Just saying.
Here's what I'll say. I agree with both picks. I do think Spider-Man is going to be a safe option because they are going to make sure that it succeeds because it has to. And I think storyline-wise, they're not going to try anything super duper crazy. I really don't think they'll do anything that's going to blow our minds. It's still going to be probably good, but I don't think they're going to go out there to try to deliver something different than we'd expect.
Yeah.
Supergirl is definitely riskiest. I will say also for the fact that a lot of people are kind of wanting more from the DCU, and the next big project, instead of it being a focus on Lanterns, is clearly going to be a bigger focus on Supergirl. And people are already tired, it seems like, of James Gunn and the James Gunn-esque projects. The gun's jammed, a lot of people are saying. So, and I think when it comes down to it, I made this analogy to you guys, and I still think it feels that way. People think of James Gunn as Domino's Pizza, whether you like it or not, take it or leave it, I don't care. But just think of James Gunn as Domino's Pizza, and you're like, someone comes and tells you, guys, I don't want pizza today. I'm done. We've had it like 3 days in a row. And you're like, okay, cool. I won't give you pizza. Promise. Next day you come home for dinner. Here's Papa John's. That's what they're doing with Supergirl. No, it is not James Gunn, but it feels like the most James Gunn thing ever.
Yeah.
If it's not good, if it has too many James Gunn isms, Can tell you right now, the DCU will not soar as high as we think it will.
And I didn't. It still is risky. I'll put Doomsday in the risk category. Yes. But I still think if Doomsday isn't good, there's still a chance that the MCU will live. And like, there's still, if it's 9 lives, it's on like life 4, 3. I don't know. There's still hope.
Can pull it back up. Yeah.
The Secret Wars piece is still there, right? Maybe they scrap it. That'd be wild if they did. But I think people are still looking to Secret Wars to be like, oh, that's the big one. But the DCU, Batman is kind of the next, I think, big thing that people think will save the DCU. But guys, I don't even know if they're going to make it to Batman, especially with Reeves Batman out there and Batman Part 2 and all that kind of stuff. Like, technically, we have a Batman, and I just, whoever are the powers that be when it comes time, they may make the determination that they're not going to waste their time on a DCU Batman. And let's just do either Part 3 or restart and do something else, or we get a new trilogy for Batman. Like, Batman, I do not think is the savior of the DCU. I think it really hinges on the success of Supergirl and then whatever Man of Tomorrow is going to be. And if I'm really being honest, I think that's probably it.
I'll be honest. Yeah. Nate, does the DCU only feel a certain way so far because it's so Superman? Will it feel better once we're tapped into Gotham? I would say it will feel better, and I do think yes, and it does feel that way so far. So again, I think Lanterns is a very good project that should come out next to give a break and feel different, because I think that would add a lot to it. But my take is, even if Doomsday is pretty good, it fails in Disney's eyes. If Doomsday isn't bigger or as big as at least Infinity War, it fails. Thoughts? Buy or sell, gents? Buy or sell?
I gotta sell it. There is no way anyone in that room thinks Doomsday is going to be even close to Infinity War. Like, that's insane. That's like us walking in and be like, you know what? We're going to play the New York Giants and win. And it's like, no, guys, they're still an NFL team. Like, they may not be really good, like my Bears, but
you're really tearing me down now.
I had to get some reaction. I was like, I didn't really get much of a reaction last time. But like, dude, that's like being D3 and being like, we could definitely compete with D1. Like, no, the worst D1 team is still better than you. Doomsday is not even going to sniff these movies. I'm not saying it can't make you feel a certain way, but like, if they're expecting numbers and like turnout, like, there's no way. There's no way. Which means there's probably a way, and they probably do feel that way. So
it's a toss-up. But I'd be more inclined to sell it. I think they're tempering the expectations, because I do think in their mind they know and understand that Doomsday has to be the setup, and that Secret Wars is the record breaker. Secret Wars. Doomsday is the launch pad into Secret Wars. And if Secret Wars doesn't make Infinity War Endgame type money and records, then they'll view it as a failure.
And again, we can't even, like, no Avengers movie is sub-billion. And we're thinking like it might have a chance to not hit $1 billion. Like, that's wild. An $800 million Avengers movie is detonate The Office.
It sounds despicable. Especially with the 27 chairs, man. They had to live stream that for 12 hours. That's a lot of time.
Expensive.
Stupid chair stream.
And that's not even all the characters apparently either. So like, they gotta make a lot of money.
Still think they made a mistake on the release date, or the release schedule for the trailers and the characters associated with it.
God, these trailers are stupid. I'll say that with my whole chest.
Yeah, it's bad.
Stupid.
It's bad.
It's interesting out there.
Okay. It's my last bonus question for everyone. If If Avengers makes more than $1 billion, will 2026 be looked at as a success? And vice versa, if it makes under $1 billion, will people say that 2026 failed and the superhero genre is officially dead?
It depends on Spidey too. I will say that Spider-Man does have a big, like you're putting your two safest bets out there for like the big box office. Supergirl, I think, can fail, and people would kind of be whatever, because there'll be a certain subsection of fans that were like, I knew this was going to fail.
Oh, the DCU.
Yeah. Spider-Man, though, I think if Spider-Man does good, like relatively good, over $1 billion, people will be happy. And I think if Avengers even comes close to at least $1 billion, like even if it does hit, as weird as it would be, 800, 900 mil, I think it's still successful in the eyes of the general public.
Yeah. Which one comes out first, Spider-Man or Odyssey? I can't remember.
I think Odyssey. Spider-Man's July 31st.
Odyssey's what, like 2 weeks before that?
Yeah, I think it's cold. I think it's like mid-July.
Why don't we just look this up? I was going to say, who's winning at the end of it? Tom Holland.
Tom Holland is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Spider-Man is doomed.
And our boy Frank.
A week. Yes,
yeah,
a week before. July 17th.
Yeah, he's an Odyssey, Punisher, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Apparently not Born Again Season 2.
He's getting his special, though.
And everything.
I forgot about that, actually. He's getting a special.
I'm actually really
special.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to a Punisher special. After reading as much Punisher as I have been.
Do you think that could be the Thunderbolts of 2026?
No, because I think people know this will be good.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that people know it'll be good. I think Wonder Man if anything, Wonder Man has the ability to be the Thunderbolts of this year.
I don't even know about that. Wow.
From
what I've been hearing about it, could be not. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Warner Bros. Just rejected Paramount's offer. I think this is an ongoing thing. Definitely come back to the channel because we are going to talk about that situation, because that does deserve its own conversation. It's a very long conversation, though.
The implications. 3 years from now, I will be very curious if we're talking about movies in the same way.
Yeah, agreed. Again, though, come back to us because we have thoughts on that that span beyond, like Lou was saying, beyond just the superhero genre, because that does have giant implications on so many things.
All right, right now, if you have to choose movie theater, weekly release on streaming, binge watch streaming, what's preferred? It's my last question for you guys. Movie release, weekly stream release, binge release.
I love a theater experience, so I pick theater.
I'm going theater as well.
Binge. My time, baby.
I feel
I'll watch it all, get it done. Fine. Spread it out. It's fine. 2 now, 3 later. Fine.
I feel that, though.
Well, I feel like for a show, I'd definitely do like binge my own time, but a movie, I'd way prefer to see at a theater.
If Kevin Feige said, hey, you can go sit at the greatest IMAX theater and watch Avengers Doomsday, or I'll send it to you and you can watch it at home, I would pick at home. I will always pick watching it on my time. And I think what really convinced me of my enjoyability from that perspective was the Snyder Cut. I had a blast watching that. That was like one of the coolest things for me, to be able to watch it on my own time, do my own thing. I have to pee. You know how many times I've missed something? I missed the first 5 minutes of Superman because I had to pee, and there were 1 million people in line to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't get through. And I was like, well, what do? Do I sit here and just piss myself and then everyone's movie is ruined? Or do I suck it up and I'm like, what happened? And everyone's like, please don't talk because I can't hear the movie.
Shut
It's
up.
just little stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
That's fair, though. That's fair. Well, I mean, either way, like we said, though, if you want to talk about that, we will. So you know what everybody has to do? You gotta make sure you gotta join. You gotta join the Discord, obviously. But I was gonna say, you gotta stay here. Tune into Point 3. Subscribe to us here on our YouTube. Follow in TikTok, all of the social medias. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcast because we are coming back very soon. Again, thank you all for being with us here tonight and throughout all of 2025. Because again, each and every one of you in chat, most of you in Discord, thank you so much for genuinely making it a fun place to be and talk. Most days, almost every day. So if you're not a part of that, you want to be a part of genuinely one of the coolest communities, come back. Again, thank you also for waiting for us. Cecil does suck, don't worry, just as much as Mark. But genuinely though, thank you guys so much for being patient with us as we took kind of an extended little break. But I can tell you, we are definitely back. We are definitely back. So back. We never left, but we are back at the same time. So stay on the lookout to the channel because we got things dropping very soon. Very, very soon. But until the next live stream, until the next video, we have been your favorite trio of hosts. Spider-Man, Lou, myself, Hero Scroll, SB. Hit them with the 3. That's right. The 3 most important things they always got to do.
Gotta keep watching, keep reading, and keep nerding out, as well as have a great holiday season because we're towards the end of the year. So spread that holiday joy to anyone that may need it, or just however you want to spread it. So
post on Discord. Let's see what y'all got.
Yeah. However you want to spread it.
You know,
and
as soon as I said it, I was hoping.
Wait. If you guys didn't know, Spider Brando is going to change his name, Super Thirsty Brando. So,
yeah,
DMs be open.
Spider-Man.
No. We love y'all. We love y'all. Guess no pod next Wednesday. I mean,
Christmas
Discord. Come on, Discord. It's Black Wednesday. I don't know what you guys do. You want to hear us? If you guys want to hear us, I'll find an hour.
Listen, we'll leave it up to Discord. We'll talk in Discord. We really will. For real though, we'll talk in Discord and see what we do. If we do it. If not, we'll see. But either way, everybody, again, have a great night. Thank you so much. And we've enjoyed the time. We'll see you in the next one.